Hey, this is Tanisha, and we're working on abstract number 31 of 100. So I know I kind of slid in an extra different video last week, and I may still go ahead and record a video and continue working on that piece. But for now, I did want to jump back to the abstract challenge, and this one is making what I would call a simple, quick, completed abstract painting. So throughout this abstract challenge, for those of you who are new, I'm basically using these abstract challenges to play with different techniques, different ideas, and just have fun with art. It's not going to be a completed painting usually, but this one, my goal was to make a completed painting. Now, of course, in 15 minutes, it's not going to be very detailed. I'd say it's more simple, but I still thought it came out great. And I thought along the way, I'm going to share some of my top tips for making a quick abstract painting. So I hope you stick around to hear those tips. And also, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you how this painting looks on a wall. And I thought it came out really, really good. So I really hope you stick around for that. Okay, so basically for this painting, I decided to just use two colors plus white. Lately I have been using a lot of black. I'm not going to say I won't ever do it, but I've just been using mostly white. And then I basically used some different mark making tools, as you can see here. But let's go ahead and get started with the tips, and that's going to help me walk you through what I did for this quick abstract painting. So I am using a canvas board. I believe I got this from Michael's. I really like these because they don't cost a lot and they're really great for quick studies. And it's just kind of my favorite way to practice. I do like sketchbooks, but I'm finding that I really love these little canvas boards. So my first tip for doing a quick abstract painting is to pick, maybe just start with one or two colors. I wouldn't get too fancy with it because the more colors you add, the more complicated it gets, and there's just a lot to that. It just makes the process longer when you have too many colors. Now, if you decide to use pre-mixed colors, that's a different story. Then go for it. If you have colors pre-mixed, you just pick them out and get going. Good to go. You're good to go. But if you're color mixing like I was, I would say pick one or two colors. So the colors that I'm using here is a blue-green. I love blue-green. And I'm using Payne's Gray, which I love. Those are another two of my favorite colors. But as you can see on my channel, I tend to use a lot of pink or magenta. But I guess it's just who I am. So tip number 2, go ahead and grab some of your mark making tools. I usually have mine in a little box, and I just grab them and I bring them over. And I just let my intuition guide me as to which one to use or what color to use. So as you can see, I did slip some magenta in here or some red. And that was not planned, but it just felt like it just felt right for this. So that's what I did. And I also put in a different color blue using my, forgot what they're called, but they're art blocks. I may go ahead and put that in the description so you can know what it is. But it's just fun to use different pops of colors, and it's just a quick way to add some more detail to the painting. Number 3, when you get started with your painting, just have fun at first. Don't try to think too much about anything. Just have fun, get into it, and just play. And then at a certain point, especially if you're doing like a 15-minute challenge like me, you got to hurry up and get into trying to finish it. And so that leads me to my next point, is number 4, which I already kind of mentioned earlier. Mix the 1 and 2 colors together. Mix them with white. Mix them in various portions as well, because that'll give you a different color. You can make so many colors out of one color. So that's another tip. Number 5, pay attention to your composition. So I knew that I didn't have much time, so I started paying attention to the composition. So I'll give you a few quick tips on composition. You want to either think about using you can make one of the main colors that's showing up in your painting. Like this green here is showing up really huge, so that's a way to do it. You can make a really big, large symbol. Sometimes the size of what you're doing works, or the color, or the darkness or the lightness of the color makes a difference. The number one tip we always hear about composition is never put anything directly in a center. Now, I've seen people do this. I think you do whatever you want. But most people say don't put anything in the center, because it's just definitely more pleasing to the eye when you don't do that. And so that's a quick tip. That's not a detailed tip, of course. So yeah, pay attention to your composition, and you want to figure out what you want the viewer to focus on. And so that'll kind of help you determine your composition, and actually take a look at your painting and just see where you want the person's eye to go. Where do you want the viewer's eye to go, I should say. And when you look at it, you kind of look at it from that standpoint. You hold it up, step back. I find, honestly, when I'm not doing a 15-minute painting, I find stepping back and even giving myself a few days really helps me figure out if the painting is where I want it to be. So that's just a few tips there on composition. And that is about all for today. So if you stay on to the end, you will get to see how this painting looked. I actually put it in a room, which I thought looks pretty nice, and you can see how it looks. And I thought it came out really well. I mean, it's a pretty simple painting. It's what I could do in 15 minutes. And it's funny how I was doing this in landscape mode and end up liking it in the vertical position. So yeah, I really enjoyed working on this painting.